Hi there, in today's video I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to help with your IELTS writing preparation. My name is Lara Ryan, I've been an IELTS examiner, I've been an IELTS teacher at the British Council, I've been teaching IELTS since 2010 and I am the founder of Complete Test Success. As always, make sure to click like on my video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. In case you're not already familiar with ChatGPT, it's an AI chatbot. And what you can do is you can ask it questions and it will answer, or you can even just have a normal conversation with it. It's very realistic, and in a lot of ways, it feels like you're talking to a real person. If you don't already know this software, you can take a look in the video description and you will find a link to bring you there. Now, I've been playing around with this software a bit, and one thing that you can use it for is to point out your key grammar mistakes. So I went to the chatbot and I typed in, "Please check the following piece of writing and tell me which type of grammar mistake I make most often." And then I pasted in an essay. It's not necessary to read my essay right now, but the point that I'm making is that the AI will look at your writing and tell you what your most common mistake is. So here is an example from the essay that I asked it to check. It said, "The most common type of grammar mistake in this piece of writing is missing or incorrect punctuation. For example, there are several missing commas between clauses and after introductory phrases. There are also a few errors in subject-verb agreement and word choice, such as fund instead of funds and there instead of there. However, the punctuation errors are the most frequent type of mistake." And I mean, that's absolutely amazing. There are so many students out there, they don't know where to start when they want to improve their grammar. But if you've been told exactly what your errors are, well then you can focus all your attention on fixing that, and of course that will help you to bring up your grammar score. After I got this piece of feedback, I went one step further and I asked, "Can you teach me this type of grammar correctly, please?" And then, of course, it responded with a quite detailed description of how the grammar works. However, I would still recommend going to other resources online to get a better understanding of your grammar weaknesses. But really, this is a massive piece of support that you can get with the ChatGPT software. Another way you can use this piece of software is to correct your individual grammar mistakes. So this time I typed into the chatbot, "Can you correct the mistakes in the following essay, please?" And under that, I pasted in my essay. The chatbot then responded by rewriting my entire essay, but with all the grammar and vocabulary mistakes corrected. And this is incredibly helpful because then I have my original essay with all the mistakes and the corrected version, and I can compare what things were changed so that I can learn from my mistakes. So again, we're using this AI as a great resource to help improve our language ability. You can also ask the chatbot to write sample essays for you. So I typed in this, "Can you write an IELTS writing task 2 answer for the following question, please?" And then I pasted in the question and the AI returned a full sample essay for me. Okay, so the problem with the essay is that it wasn't perfectly in the format that the IELTS examiner is looking for. So this isn't as good a resource as what we've used the chatbot for previously. But it's still very interesting to see the ideas that the chatbot uses, and these are always relevant, and the language that the chatbot uses. So there are a lot of things that we can learn from the chatbot sample essay. However, it's not completely appropriate to the requirements of the IELTS writing test. So use it as a resource for ideas and language, but you will need to continue following the appropriate structures that you've learned from IELTS teachers. Just in case you're new to my channel, I'd like to tell you that I have free live feedback lessons every week, and those are my group classes on Zoom. If you'd like to sign up and join me for those free lessons and get additional support in your IELTS preparation, take a look in the video description, you'll find the link, and once you sign up, you will see the full schedule and how to join. Another very common problem that students have is they don't know if their ideas are appropriate or not. So when you write a task 2 essay, you can ask the chatbot to tell you if your ideas are appropriate. So mainly we're looking to make sure our ideas are relevant and specific. So first I asked the chatbot about being relevant. I said, "Below is an IELTS writing task 2 question and an answer that I wrote for that question. Can you please tell me if my ideas are relevant?" And then I pasted in the question and my answer. And this was actually very effective. It was able to tell me when my ideas were relevant and when they were not relevant. I tried a few different sample answers. I included some irrelevant ideas on purpose, and the chatbot was actually able to notice this every time. So if you are struggling with identifying whether your ideas are relevant or not, again, ChatGPT is a fantastic resource for you. Then I went to check if my ideas were vague or specific. So I typed in, "Below is an IELTS Writing Task 2 question and ideas that I wrote for the question. Can you please check if my ideas are specific?" Then I pasted the question and pasted in my ideas. However, this time the software was not as good at telling me if my ideas were appropriate or not. With relevant and irrelevant, it was very effective, but with vague and specific, it seemed to struggle a bit more, and the advice was not as reliable in this situation. Another thing you can use the chatbot to do is to check the tone of your writing. So if you're writing a Task 2 essay, you need to only have formal language. If you're not sure whether words are formal or informal, you might want to write the essay first, and then you can ask the chatbot to find any informal language, and that will be a way for you to discover whether the language is formal or informal. What I got it to check was actually a Task 1 general training letter, because it's even more important that you have the correct tone. If you have formal language in an informal letter, you're automatically getting a task achievement score of 6 or even lower. So it's really useful to find out if your tone is appropriate or not by using the chatbot. For this, I asked the chatbot, "Can you find any informal language in the following piece of writing?" And then I pasted in my full letter, and the chatbot did a fantastic job of pointing out which words I used that were informal and therefore were or were not appropriate. We can also use the chatbot to help us learn vocabulary. Now, every student will have a topic that they're not comfortable with. So it might be you have no interest in sport. So when you're asked to discuss sport, you have no vocab. You're not strong in this area. So to help you with this, we're going to ask the chatbot to make some suggestions. So this time what I did was I asked, "What useful vocabulary can I use when writing an answer to the following Writing Task 2 question?" I pasted in the question and I clicked enter. The chatbot got back to me with this. "Here are some useful vocabulary, words and phrases you could use when writing an answer to this IELTS Writing Task 2 question." And it gave me a list of words that I might use in the introduction, and then it continued on with words for the different parts of the essay. Now, a list of words is great, but you might know if you've been following my lessons that I don't like word lists like this. If you have the meaning and the definition, that's great for reading and listening because you know how to understand it. But if you want to use it in your own writing and in your own speaking, you need to know the collocations, you need to know how it's used contextually, you need to know how it fits into the sentence grammatically. So this is not enough. So to get more information about this word list, I asked the chatbot, "Can you provide me examples of those words in context, please?" The chatbot then responded by using each of those words in a full sentence, and that gave me the context. I'm able to see the grammatical structures, I can see how it's being used, and with that, and the definitions from earlier, that gives me enough information to learn these words effectively. Now, I'm sure the thing a lot of you are dying to know is whether the chatbot will give you your IELTS scores or not, and the answer is no, it will not tell you your IELTS scores. I asked, "What IELTS score would you give the essay below for this question?" I pasted in the question and I pasted in the essay, and the chatbot came back to me and said, "As an AI language model, I cannot give a definitive IELTS score for an essay. However, I can provide feedback on the essay that you provided." And then it gave me recommendations about things that I did well and things that I did poorly. Now, to be fair, that is also very helpful information, so it's no harm getting feedback on your answers, but it will not give you the exact scores you need, so you're still going to need the support of an IELTS expert for that information. Okay, so this was just my initial look through how to use ChatGPT to help prepare for the IELTS test. But you might have some extra ways that you can use it to help support with your preparation. So let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments below. What way are you using that will also help us to improve our IELTS scores? Share your ideas, let the other students benefit from this as well.